Hi everyone, so I wanted to share a video today about push-pull relationships, what a union is, and basically, why we're not in one. And this came up from a group I'm in where we share manifesting and we sort of just share our ideas on polarities, patterns, things that are going on in our life. And I really recommend to everybody to have a group like that, because I know there's groups where there's loads and loads of people in them, and I just find those really difficult to keep up with, because every time I log on there's like 1,000 messages, and there's no way you can keep up with everyone's story. Personally, I really like the dynamic that I have in the little group that I have, where there's just 5 of us, and we really just, there's enough space for everybody to kind of really share, and you can keep up with this, you can keep up with each other better. I mean, that's just my perspective. Some people like the really busy ones, but I just find that I'm busy for a few hours and then I've just totally lost track of there's enough goes on in the group that I'm in, when I log back in and there's 55 messages or whatever to catch up on. But I find it really useful, and I think everybody would find this very useful, to see different patterns going on for different people, and they help remind you of things going on in your own life, etc., etc. So this today it really came up with duality and how playing these kind of relationship games, and I just wanted to jump on and make a video about it. So when we play these little relationship games, like, I don't know if anybody's ever seen these books, like Why Men Love Bitches, and I think there's a male equivalent of this book as well. The thing is, they do work. So they kind of fool people that that's the right thing, that men really do like unavailability, they really do like this chase, and that when you pull back on someone, they're going to message you more. And I'm sure similar stuff is in the male books. Maybe you can tell me, I haven't actually read them, maybe I should read them just to see what kind of stuff. I've read little bits of them, and I think they're very similar, like, don't tell a woman that you want to commit to her, like have all these different, like, spinning plates on the go, I think was in one of them. And it's very much about not being vulnerable and not being fully available, and the idea that that triggers the other person into chasing you and desperately feeling desire and attraction for you. Now this works, it works on other people that are also in a polarity dynamic. So if you're polarized and you're going to be playing these games, you're going to meet other polarized people. And when you have like polarity and duality within you playing out, you get triggered very, very easily. So someone withdraws their energy, you get triggered, you just want to fill the gap, you just want to close the gap. It also will go the same way that when somebody's chasing and they're messaging a lot and they're very, very interested, you're going to be like, oh my God, I need to, and it's all about staying in control and about keeping in control. And to actually fall in love and to have a union, you have to be willing to not stay in control anymore. You have to be willing to lose that control element. And that takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of self-love. It takes, it's a journey to be able to not need to control yourself. But the way we stay in control is by basically engaging in these polarized relationships. And one person, and you can interchange with this, one person tends to pull their energy back to stay in control, and one person pushes their energy forwards to stay in control. And because you're duality and you're polarized, you will just attract this opposite energy. So if you're somebody that tends to like pull back to stay in control and be like, oh, I'm going to pretend I didn't read their message, actually those people are often the people that push forwards, and they're trying to give the pretense that they actually have the opposite control pattern, which is why it kind of switches things round for them, because really those people that play those games, they're generally actually the more people that push forward. So they start to try and play games with them, pull their energy back. But it's all energetic. And actually people that pull their energy back to stay in control, it's nothing to do with like how much you message or whether you, these are just outward expressions. It's actually just that your energy pulls back. So to feel safe, and you'll start to feel it in your relationships, or in all relationships, not just romantic. You'll start to feel when your energy like is pulling back and when your energy is pushing forwards. And both of those things are in order to try and control and manipulate your external environment, but you're doing it energetically. So you're like, oh, pulling back and unavailable, or you're pushing forwards and you're chasing. And neither of those statuses are harmonious with a harmonious union. Like, they are not union energies. Union energies is just showing up. I'm here. I don't need to chase love. I don't need to run away from love. I just am love and I'm showing up. And then you're going to meet the same polarity. You're going to meet someone else that shows up in that way, because everything outside is a mirror of what's inside. Whereas if you're running away from love, you know, you're going to meet someone that's sort of chasing you, but you're never going to get to that union polarity. And the same, it's why we get that runner chaser dynamic. You know, it's talked about a lot in the twin flame relationship. I've had a hell of a lot of running and chasing going on, and that's because I was in duality with myself. And you'll find a lot of game playing goes on. So a lot of that, like, oh, I'm gonna pretend I didn't see that message come in, and I'm gonna pull myself and be a little bit more mysterious. And this thing works, like, it does work, but it works on other polarized people. It's I don't believe that kind of energy is going to get you into a harmonious union, which is what we want to be in, right? To be in a harmonious union means to be in a harmonious union with yourself and not trying to control another person. And when you, it might be subconscious, but when you pull your energy back or you push your energy forwards, you're trying to control another person. You're not just being, you're not being in that moment in love and attracting another similar vibration. You're controlling, and you're either controlling because you're chasing another person and being like, why haven't you messaged me? You're calling them 3 times before they text you back. You're just basically in chase mode, or you're pulled back and you're like, oh, I need to have like thousands of hobbies so that I'm not actually available for this relationship. I'm going to have like 15 people on the go at the same time. Or there's all kinds of ways that people like pull back and that people push forwards. But when you come to like really, really feel these energies, you can start to actually feel yourself when you push forwards and feel yourself when you pull back. And we all kind of think we have a bit of a natural thing that we do more, but we tend to do different things depending on the polarity of the person we meet. So if you meet a major chasing type person that really pushes their energy forwards more than you, you're probably going to start pulling your energy back. And if you're like someone that pulls your energy back and someone pulls it back even more, you might start to push forward. So we just have all this control. And it's why society is so controllable, because all those people at the top have to do is sort of pull a few little emotional strings, trigger the person, and they get a reaction. So if you can be triggered easily into a reaction, you're very controllable. And it's why a lot of people are very controllable in society, because they're so polarized inside that these people sort of at the top, they literally know, that it's just sort of a few little things that they have to push buttons, and they know that the majority of people are going to respond in a certain way. They're going to get triggered and they're going to just stay under control. And it's the same with relationships. The relationship we have with our government and our leaders is the same relationship that we have. And just with advertisers, people trying to advertise you products. They know what buttons to press to get you to react and buy their product, or, whatever. So in relationships, it's the same thing, that by playing all these games and by pushing and pulling your energy forwards, it makes us feel more powerful. We're like, yeah, I got them chasing because I pulled my energy back, or I'm going to go and like chase that person and I'm not going to stop until we're together. That makes you feel kind of like powerful. But both of these things are actually making you quite weak in a sense, because you're having to play all these games and manipulate your energy to try and stay in control. And actually the most powerful place to be is where you don't need to gain control of another person. You can just show up as yourself. You can be vulnerable, you can be open, you can be open to being hurt, because generally what these games are is they are, I really I'm scared of being hurt. I'm scared of falling in love with a person and completely allowing myself to not be in control here, because this could end badly, this could go badly, I could lose money, I could lose something, you know. It's a fear of losing something if I lose control in this relationship. So actually being willing to lose control is generally the result of having done so much work on yourself that you're in control of yourself, and you know that you can't lose. You know that if somebody walks away from you, you're going to be okay, because you've done all that self inner work where you are fine with someone walking away from you, because you know you're in control of your destiny. You know you can just go back to the drawing board and be like, okay, how did I create that? I'm going to go back and work on myself a bit more, and then that person's going to show back up, or somebody even better is going to show up. You know, once you get to that point, you don't fear losing control anymore, because you're in control within yourself. And that's when you can show up with no games and no pushing and pulling, and you just show up with another person and they can show up in the same way. And that's really what I consider a union to be. It's two people coming together without control dramas of pushing and pulling. Obviously, I'm not saying you're never going to dip into a control drama, but sort of trying to work through those control dramas so they don't dominate your connections anymore, and you don't use them in a way to feel safe in some way and think that coming from a control drama makes you feel safe. So yeah, I just wanted to share that with everybody, and yeah, I hope everyone's good. And yeah, this is a bit of a long one, but I was just flowing with things. They're just thoughts that I have in the day, and I'm like, oh, I just want to come on and say something about that. But yeah, bye.